All right. Thank you so much. Okay, I believe we've all seen the flyer of this event, but then why are we really here? Why are we here today? We might not know. I'm a 400 level student of architecture. I'm currently on my IT. Okay. I would like to do a kind of room check. If you are in 100 level, say I. Thank you. If you're in 200, say I. 300 level, 400. Thank you. 500. All right. Masters. Hi. Okay. I'm done with school. All right. Thank you. So I want to share a school story. So when I was in 100 level, after exams, yeah, I think you guys are preparing for exams now, right? Yeah. So I went there one day and I was moving about in the garden. Then I got to this point that there were bamboo trees, like very quite tall. They formed a kind of cave into that. Okay, I'd like us to pay attention to the video, seeing different uses of bamboo beyond the scaffolding. Are we still here? If I hear, say aye. All right. Thank you. Okay. Before we continue, I would like us to do something quick. But before then, I would like us to recognize one of our speakers here. That's architect Shoni Barry. Please let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. Thank you. Yes. So to make this event as eventful for you and I want us to do an expectation check. So I'm your host. I'm going to tell you what I expect from you, and you are also going to tell me what you expect from me. Is that fine? Is that fine? Yes or no? Okay. So as your host, I'm going to start with my. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. I would mention my name, one fun thing about myself, and I'll give you my expectation. So if you want to speak, you raise your hand, tell me your name, one fun thing about you, and what you expect from me as your host, and from other people, like the event, what you expect the event to be like. So that's how we're going to do it. Okay, once again, my name is Simidolu Ataiwo. I welcome you to Global Bamboo Expo 2.0. One fun thing about me, I'm mixed handed. Yes, I use both hands. And what I expect, thank you. What I expect from you today, I expect you to pay me your attention. I expect you to learn as much as possible, and whatever you learn, you jot it down so that when you leave here, you will not forget. I expect that you interact with other people here, because as much as you want to gain from people, you also want to meet people that even after this event you'll be able to connect with. So, anybody want to share their expectation with me? Yes, thank you. There you go.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Last thing, good morning. Adeniji Foluwa.
Hi,
Funny part
Adedeji.
about me. Eh? What is it?
What did you say your name?
Something that is fun about me.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm just a normal guy. So, what I expect from you? I'm expecting my breakfast. That you promised me. My breakfast. And now, so, so what I'm expecting for this from this program is for the program to change my point of view of how I see bamboo. Like I should be able to have a different perspective of how to use bamboo or what it is used for and how to integrate it to modern buildings of nowadays. Thank you.
A round of applause for him. Who else wants to go? Sir? Who's raising his hand? Pass the mic to him, please. Thank you.
Okay. So, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Kodri Naim. So,
Hi, Kodri.
the funny thing about me is that I don't know anything, but I like to ask questions. I don't know anything, but I like to ask questions.
Okay.
So, uh, I told you my name. Okay. Oh, sorry. I said my name. So, what I want to understand from this event is that, generally speaking, there have been some hypes about bamboo these days. Particularly when we talk about bamboo and steel, and people used to hype bamboo too much. So, I would love to know, like, what are its limits compared to other building materials such as steel and wood. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. A round of applause for him, please. Anybody else want to share their expectations? I think. All
Good
right.
morning, ma. Um, my name is Kayode Ajibade. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Starting with fun thing about me. Abi,
Fun.
The fun.
Anything
Oh,
interesting about you?
I'm very sorry for that. The fun thing about me is I'm actually funny, and I love I love food, and I dislike poverty. Yes.
Real.
Um, Concerning this bamboo, what I'm looking forward to is beyond the scaffolding. These days, bamboo have been the talk of the town. Let's just say it, even talk of the city. Like I want to know what we can really use bamboo for beyond scaffolding, which is the general thing. And the way I'm looking at this video, I'm already seeing some things, but the way I'm looking at it, I said something that I'm funny. It's like this still like film trick. Let me just say that way. Yes, yes, yes. Even though I'm seeing people, I want to, I want to, I want them to prove it to me that actually this thing is bamboo. Bamboo can be done like this, can be used like this. Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. Please clap for him. Does anybody else want to share? You want us to prove to you that it's not AI, that is real. All right. We'll do that. Anybody else want to? Anybody else want to share? If you don't have expectation, you can say I don't have any expectation. I just came here to vibe, came here to eat the small shops and go home. Be honest. All right, you can.
Okay, my name is Joy
Hi,
Obaido,
Joy.
300 level. I don't know any fun thing about before now. Then for expectation, what I expect from this program is just to have a general overview of other things we can use bamboo for, aside from scaffolding, just as the theme is. So that's all.
All right, thank you so much. You've all shared your expectation to us. You want this session, you want to learn, you have questions, you want your questions to be answered. I'm trying to summarize all the expectations that you have for us in this event, and we are going to be doing that. So, moving on, we want to hear from the horse's mouth. We want to know why we are here. I've told you my own story about bamboo, my first interaction with it. Now I want us to move on from that to know why we are actually here from the people that organized the event. So I will be calling on Olakomi Ezekiel to come and tell us something about it.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Um, okay, let me stay here. So, how are we doing? I know we just had to sacrifice time to come here and listen to what we have for you this morning. So, okay, I'll share a little bit of story how it all started, and okay, up to where we are now. 300 level. We have any 300 level students here? Okay, majority 300 level. So I discovered, will I say, I've known bamboo before 300 level. So I got to know deeply about bamboo from 300 level. There's a particular course you'll be doing that has to do with, is it 302 or 3 materials? Yes. So that was where I discovered bamboo. So that was where I discovered bamboo. And then, what actually um, caught my attention was, or what provoked me, was that I compared the way we are using bamboo to the way other people are using bamboo outside the world. And if you look at if you compare it, you see that we are not really utilizing what we have. Even, let me just use Africa. Let me use Africa for an instance. Nigeria has more bamboo plantation growing naturally because other African countries they have large plantations now because they are growing it. But I'm talking about naturally growing. We have more bamboo and we have enough land to grow bamboo. So why are we not really utilizing this material? These are the questions that were prompting me. And also, I furthered my research. I looked at China, I looked at Asia, I looked at Europe. This country, in Nigeria, there's something about our mentality. You think that bamboo is one. Um, we only admire the finished product. We don't pay attention to the raw material, but we don't know that the raw material is what's brought about the finished product. So if you look at what has been done with bamboo outside the country, you'll be challenged that, oh, what are we doing with our own material? And at the end, they will still import these materials to Nigeria, and we'll be complaining about our exchange rate and all, and we are not utilizing what we have. I think there was a man in Europe. He sent a message. There's a platform. He sent a message recently. He said they needed about, I can't remember the number of tons of bamboo, and it's the species we have here growing in Nigeria. They needed it in another African country, and we are not growing them. So you could imagine what you can generate economically from just this material. There are a lot of building materials. This is just one of them. Bamboo. There's laterite. So I just decided that, okay, let me focus on this material, because it might look to you that bamboo is the way you are promoting it is like bamboo is the only material. No, but bamboo alone can do a lot of things when it comes to building. And another thing that also made me pay attention to this material is the availability, affordability. I'll be frank with you that the cost of building material is on the high, is increasing as the year goes by. So now we need to start looking at other materials to complement. The fact that we are not paying more attention to concrete doesn't mean we will not use concrete at all. We are just trying to minimize the use of concrete for cost and health wisely. If you look at those pictures, if you look at the image, the video, you see that bamboo is not the only material there is in that. You see a lot of mixture. You see stone, you even see wood. So bamboo, the major reason why we are here is so that we can start looking. The major goal, let me just summarize that, we can start looking at other building materials. Most of the time when we want to design, the first thing we put our mind is wall, block wall, concrete floor, reinforced concrete and all. Actually, that is the way the Nigerian architecture students, I won't say all, but basically, if they ask you to design now, the next thing is block wall that comes to your mind. The next thing that comes to your mind is a block wall. If you want to do your flooring, the next thing that comes is tiles. That's the way we've been wired. The only thing that comes to your mind is tiles. So you need to start thinking of other material. Okay, what material can I use? What else can I use to complement tiles? What can I use to, if you look at your wall, the next thing that comes to your mind is paint. In a way, the architectural system in Nigeria is a bit rigid. If you look at this, rigid. So if I check your designs, I will see that basically what I will see is just a normal block wall, paint. If you had to do specification, I will see the normal block wall, paint, cement, tiles. But if you look at designs outside the country, you see that they have a mixture of everything. They have a mixture of wood, mixture of stone, mixture of laterite, and this is what makes the beauty of architecture. When materials come together and they bond together, you see the beauty of it. So 500 level, okay, I did my research. My research was based on bamboo. For a structure, I had to narrow it down to structural stability, because most people tend to doubt the structural integrity of bamboo. So I decided that, okay, let me just narrow it to that, because the goal is to build affordable housing. That's the end goal. But we have to start from somewhere. You have to research on structural system. There are different structural systems to work on to make you achieve a particular form. I believe you understand what I'm saying. Structural system to achieve a particular form. So I don't know, you saw us building a bamboo structure out there. It can be better than that. We just have to use what we have available. There are still a lot of process to follow before you start using a bamboo pole. You still need to treat it. it needs to get mature. But we just want you to see something. You can see this model. It's very, very achievable. So this is like a structural frame. And when people were seeing it, they said that what's the essence of this? This is just a framework. The finished work, there will be a seating, there will be a roof, but this is the major thing that has to do with the stability. Are you following me? So I want you to leave this event with this mind, with a flexible mind. I want you to leave this after you've seen all you need to see, after you've heard all you need to hear. I want you to go back to your drawing paper and start imagining other materials. What else can I bring into my block, and block? Yes, we know our weather, we know our country, but we can do better than this. So I believe that living here, you make up your mind that I want to be a unique architect. You know, when you hear about an architect, you studied history. If they talk about Frank Lloyd Wright, there's something unique to Frank Lloyd Wright. There's something unique to Walter Gropius. There's something unique to what is his name? Miss Van der Rohe. There's something unique to all these architects. They have a unique design. They have a unique approach to design. Their unique thinking process and the material they are accustomed to. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate. Thank you for coming. We're expecting 200 level to join us once they are done with their lectures. And I really appreciate I can see 500 level. We have on 500 level here. They're having jury tomorrow, so which is the reason why they're all on pressure, under pressure. So they are unable to. I think some of them will join us. I don't know yet, but 200 level will be joining us. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate your presence. And I hope that once we are done, we will all have our mindset will have improved when it comes to design. Thank you very much.
Please let's clap for him. Right, we've heard from him. He is the head of Global Bamboo Limited. That's why we're here, and he's also an architect. So let us celebrate him one more time. So the next person I would be calling on stage would be a brand designer and product designer. Is the head of branding for Global Bamboo Limited, and that is Toby Victor. So just start for him. Keep clapping till he gets here.
All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's smile. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. All right, my name is Toby Victor. I studied architecture, and yes, I'm a brand designer, and I'm also a co-founder of Global Nigeria. All right, please just follow me. Trust me, this slide was prepared overnight. Yes, so just follow me. Yes, trust me. All right. So, mm, yeah, building sustainable brands from emerging sectors, first mover advantage. Is mic not working? All right. All right. So, like I said, my name is Toby Victor. I also studied architecture, but along the way, okay, let me just give you a bit of background story. I think. Is it there? It's not there. Thank you. All right. I said my name is Toby Victor. Can you hear me clearly? Yes. I said I studied architecture, and yes, my background story. Yes, I think I loved the art part of architecture while in school, and it's pivoted my career as a brand designer. Yes, that's what I'm doing presently. I will not say I'm not practicing architecture, but that is my core. Like, I'm a brand designer. That is what I do. That is what I do professionally. So, and yeah, I love anything about art, branding. What makes up those great brands. Why does Apple works? Now it's now beyond how it looks. Why does it works? I ask questions like that. Next to PLC, these brands have been existing for 40 years, 50 years, 70 years. Their fathers are dead, and this brand is still working. How? So I asked the how a lot. So the curiosity made me pivot into brand designing. So next slide, sorry. I'll make sure my slide is as brief as possible, and I'll also make it very engaging. All right, so I would love 4 persons to come outside of 5. How many of us are entrepreneurs here? I say, God bless you. All right. Um, how many of us are aspiring CEOs here? All right, awesome. So you can come outside. You can come outside. This is a social experiment. Please give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. All right, all right. My wonderful CEO. All right, thank you very much. Eagle Studios. Wow, that's nice. All right, who is coming on board again? All right, we have. Can we have one female? One female. A CEO. One female. 1, 2, 3. All right, awesome. I think we have 5 already. Let's make it 5. All right. So what you guys are going to do for me is you're going to tell me your business, what you do. Yeah, it's very simple now. The name of your business. Do you understand? The name of your business and how do you plan to be remembered in the year 2085? That's how many years from now? That's 60 years. Yes. The name of your business, what you really do in your business. Very simple question. Do you guys? The name of your business. So yeah. You can just even tell us your vision, your goal in your business and all those things. You know when you're pitching, my vision is to do this. Yes. All right.
All right. My name is Tim Tokwe
All
Roots,
right, Timmy Tokwe.
and I make tie and dye.
Tie and die. Wow.
Yes, Adire.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that is to include it into interior design
Mm.
for walls, decoration, and all.
Mm.
And the question you asked,
Yes.
how I'm going to be remembered, designing art on
Okay.
fabrics.
Okay. Okay, let me make the question simple. What is unique about that your business? I mean, there are a lot of tie and dye businesses.
Okay.
So why should I patronize you, Tim
Okay.
Takwe? As a founder, what's the name of that business again?
Is tie and dye.
Tie and dye is the name of the business.
No.
Wow, that's powerful.
My brand
Toludire.
name is Toludire.
That's the brand. It's the
Okay.
brand name I need.
Okay.
Toludire. Yes. That's
Toludire.
awesome. All right. Why should I patronize Toludire? All right.
So the reason why you have to
Patronize
patronize
you.
me
Okay.
is I will help you in designing your interior with inspiring colors that
I
will
want to try to get your. Please, we are learning. I want to try to get your brand. You are Toludire.
Yeah.
What you do is tie and dye.
Yeah.
So what is it? The tie and dye of clothes or tie and dye for interior? Let's get it clear.
the tie and dye is on clothes. But
Okay.
I'm going to use it as artwork, like those artwork that have been done on clothes, but are placed on like you can hang it in your like wall frames. Yes.
Please, are we taking notes?
Yes. Yeah.
Please, are we taking notes? Please give her a round of applause. So you do a tie and dye for clothes, but you use it for frames.
Yes.
All right. Next person. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
So, number one is for a brand name, I don't have yet.
Okay, don't have a brand
So-
name yet. Why are you laughing? Yes, love people. Yeah.
The solution we are trying to bring in is that, based on research, places like Lagos,
Okay.
so they do have much more of what is it called? Retrofitting work are done and maintenance work. So, here's the solution we are proposing. There is a discussion about sustainable development.
Okay.
So we are trying to say, okay, when we are trying to renovate, when we are trying to do all this kind of maintenance work, can we have an AI system
Okay.
that is going to help us to, uh, let's say, okay, let's bring it to a case study, for example.
Alright.
So we can have a camera or
Alright.
a drone
Okay.
shoot a building,
Okay.
then automatically analyzes the building.
Okay.
Then from that analysis, then we can say that we have this is the number of frames, these are their quality, these are their so the
The
it's
number of
still
what? The number of frames.
like the number of window frames.
Okay. Okay.
What is the quality?
Okay.
So
Okay. From the drone shot.
yes, just from the shot.
What kind of drone are you looking at?
It's just a normal drone, but we use what is called computer vision,
Okay.
which is a branch of AI. So
Okay.
which analyzes images
All
for
right.
us to come up with those data that we need
All
for
right.
us to say we want to build it. So
All
it's still on the conceptual stage.
Stage.
So
All right.
we've not done anything.
Please give him a round of applause. Please give him a round of applause. All right. Next person. These are ideas. Like, I'm loving this. All right. You can go ahead.
So presently, my current idea about entrepreneurship is that,
Okay.
like, I don't know if I'll be going to other fields, but presently,
Architecture students.
yes.
Wow, awesome.
So the thing I have in mind presently is I know about fashion designing,
Okay.
so I'm trying to start my brand known
Alright.
as Authority Wears.
Hmm.
So,
Please give him a round of applause. That name carries authority, yes.
so by the year 2085,
Okay.
I will want to be remembered as an entrepreneur
Okay.
that revolutionized the fashion designing industry all over the world.
Please give him a round of applause. That's wide. Okay. Okay. So how do you plan to revolutionize the fashion designing world all over the world?
I would like to
Okay.
create like a unity
Okay.
in fashion designing among nations. Like I don't have the plan to come up with that yet, but I believe I will get it.
What kind of unity?
All over the world, where people, different cultures, they have
Yeah.
their different style of fashion. So I
Alright.
want to bring everything together.
Together.
Yes.
So please give him a round of applause too. But it's still not clear yet.
Yeah, it's normal for it not to be clear at this
Yeah.
point.
Right. But
Yes.
I think if you are pitching to me, I
Okay.
think you should be able to sell. I should be able to know how you want to, like. I mean, the first question I'll ask is why. Why do I want to? Why do you want to unite us that we should be wearing the same fashion style? Are you seeing? I'm opening your mind already. Next slide. Next person. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Not next slide. Sorry. Not next slide. I'm just opening your mind. You should ask the why. I mean, that your name carried authority already. Authority wears. That name carries authority already, right? But are you answering the why? I mean, that name already hits me. When you said authority wears, I said, that makes sense. But you said unite. I mean, I might not want to, like someone like me, I don't like wearing the same clothes with someone. I mean, so it might not.
The beginning of the birth of an idea.
Okay.
In the initial stage is likely not to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
So as we work on it, things will become clearer.
All right. Give him a round of applause. I mean, he's still trying to come. All right, next person.
Okay, still an idea.
Sorry, just now my lecturer came in, my project supervisor when I was in undergraduate. I need to recognize him. Dr. Adegu, please give him a round of applause. Thank you. He's my daddy. All right, you can continue.
Okay, so is implementing AI in the logistic company of Nigeria.
All right.
So starting from short distances to medium distances to long distances.
Okay.
So for short distances, I'm envisioning using AI-powered vehicle,
Okay.
just like has been done in foreign countries.
Okay.
Having 24/7 logistic tax to move you from wherever you are, and also modernizing the traditional logistics we have. The only region of Nigeria that are trying to work towards that does the eastern part, and we don't have any in the southwest part and not in the north part. So my idea is to fill the markets of the southwest part and the north part to modernize it in a way that you can order.
Can you give me your idea in one word? I mean, it's giving me cognitive load already, trust me.
Okay.
It's everywhere in my head. Make your idea simple.
Okay.
What you are trying to do. Okay, let me give you an example. Apple said, I will be different. So when you see their product is different. Everything about them is different. Coke said, original taste. So Coke in different culture, hope you know that they taste differently. Original taste. Which example again? A lot of brands like that, they are very clear. This is what we want to do. Do you get? That's why we are still going to get there. Do you get? I love you guys' idea. Very great. All right.
Okay, my own is just to save time.
To save time.
Yes.
All right. In the logistics sector.
Yes.
All right. Give him a round of applause. All right.
Okay.
The five of you now sit down here. We'll now do it. All right.
Okay, I don't have a brand name yet.
Okay.
But my idea is I'm a web developer and designer.
Okay.
So I want to create digital spaces for interior designers and
Digital space.
architects
Wow.
for architect, and more like okay, they have 3D visualization,
Hmm.
3D rendering, wherever, and they want to bring it to digital space for everybody to see their work. So my firm will be like dedicated for that group of people,
All right.
architects
So
and
I want to get your what you'll be doing really. So when I need to check that that digital space is not a real. It's like an AR or VR. Is that
no
what you're
digital
saying?
space like websites for firms,
Okay,
like
website
a
for firms.
website for
Okay,
firms
website for
and
firms and all
probably
right,
a personal person
all
also.
right, all right, all right. Please give them a round of applause. Can we go to the next slide? All right, you can go. You can just sit down here so we can. It's just I thought it's a discussion, and I'll still be asking some person's question in the audience. Okay, well, just go and sit down. Sit down. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. All right. Please, are we looking at the slide? I think yesterday, while just putting this slide together, something dropped to my spirit. Trust me, I carry Holy Spirit along anytime I'm doing anything, so I'm not sure about it. All right. Have you ever thought of who created Ctrl Z? I mean, if there was no Ctrl Z on your computer, you just see 10 people has died because of no Ctrl Z. After you typed everything, and you just see that your laptop went off or you couldn't. All right, good. The name of the guy is David Canfield Smith. Now, very simple. Ctrl Z. Now, there's something I wrote long ago. Great designs are not seen, they are felt. Great brands. You don't understand. Very good. Someone thought about that. When you cook, there was a time that we were eating raw rice. Someone thought about that. What if I put this rice inside water, Abby, and I boil it? Hmm? It will now turn to what? Boiled rice. Very simple. As basic as that idea is a very great idea. Now, most of the times, most Nigerian brands or African brand at large, we try to. There's someone I said something about cognitive load. When we are trying to build when we are trying to create the brand system for Globam, I'm going to be using Bamboo Globam as our case study. We were very straight. Bamboo beyond scaffolding. Where? In Nigeria. Simple. We are not doing anything else. We want to show the people of Nigeria that bamboo is beyond scaffolding. Straight. You don't get. And we are starting from where? Nigeria. Trust me, your ideas are great. But the question we ask is, I said something earlier. The person that created David Canfield, I was not able to read much more about him. When he was going to create it, you could have thought about, okay, why is it that we type and we couldn't get back to what we are doing? I mean, he never created computer, I hope you know. He never created the chip. He just created a system called just undo what maybe you made mistake, just undo it back. Ctrl Z. Start thinking now. Very good. The person that created WhatsApp, I was telling someone about WhatsApp recently. We are getting somewhere. That I'm going to call some persons out again. That WhatsApp will have gone out of extinct if there was no WhatsApp status. Trust me. Yes or no? Nokia said something. I love the CEO of Nokia. He said something. He said, we didn't fail, but somehow. No, we didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we failed. He was crying in that interview. How many of you have seen that thing? He said, you didn't fail. Then I now had to research about it. You can't just tell that quote and we accept it. Then I read much more about it on Medium. How many of you are on Medium here? I believe you are founders. Awesome. Then someone now gave his own verdict that the moment Nokia stopped producing for the end user and they started producing for stakeholder, they started moving out of market. Now, I'm going to balance everything I'm telling you. Now, I was talking about building brands, making your voice clear. The issue we have is we have this idea, but trust me, WhatsApp is a very good product, right? Very good. Let's come to Africa, safe. Money points. Money points so that fintech market is saturated. See, what do? Let's make fast transfer. So immediately make your transfer, you're hearing, down. They didn't do anything. Just make transfer fast. We are not doing anything. We are not trying to create USD card in the fintech space. We are not trying to bring card from. I love who was saying the AI logistics. Very great idea. I love it. Trust me, I love your idea. Very great. It was I said, God, trust me. Sometimes you just need a very clear message. Brand. One point said we are not stressing ourselves. They were team apps before. Just we know that people have issues with my money has not entered though. Hey, what's happening? Okay. Even before, that's why the concept of money, the back end, before your money drops, it will have not dropped. You will have heard that tone. Town. Hope you know. Hope you know that sometimes the money has not dropped. It will just be on pending. But the person, okay, you can go. I know that it will. As simple as that. Are you get? So, Toludire, maybe your idea, you don't need to break back too much. You just need to look for a simple problem and solve and stay true to it. Do you get? I told you Apple now said we are just thinking different. So any of our products will be different in terms of design, in terms of every time they do WWDC. How many of you know WWDC? Do you watch it? Entrepreneurs. Sometimes. Try to be watching it. The great story. How many of us have read the story of Steve Jobs? No, there's something the guy said in one of his books, and it was like, he said sometimes I have to make them. All right. He said sometimes the user does not even know what they want. When he said that, I was laughing, and that's true. He said sometimes the user does not know what they want. He said they put it to the market. Then he make them like what I want them to like. Do you get that? I'm going to giving us practical example. How do we get to a place whereby something dropped to my mind now. All right, how does it get to a place whereby validity for Gen Zs or Gen Alphas became, why don't you celebrate me on my birthday on status? Did you experience that too? That's my, you celebrate me on WhatsApp. You didn't post me on my birthday. So if there was no WhatsApp status, you are not celebrated. A system that a company thought of, like, let's just create something called status. Everybody, now look at how the problem is. Every human wants validation. Do you get? So everybody cannot be a celebrity now. Within their immediate contacts, let them be a celebrity. So you see someone posting, I just did this one on their status for their immediate people. Are you seeing it? Simple problem. I mean, how many of you met to go? Anytime I read about to go and I study, I was like, how did to go suddenly become childish? How did to go suddenly become childish? Most times, when you are building your brand, when you are trying to create a sustainable brand, you have to be thinking more of, this is my message. How do I adapt it with time? Toludire, interior authority wears. All these ideas, trust me, they are great ideas. I mean, I was telling you about Globam. We said bamboo is beyond scaffolding. Trust me. It's I and the founder that knows a bit of a glimpse, because you can't just come from nowhere and tell me that as good as it is that you start believing in this product. You don't get. You want to change. You just thought bamboo is beyond scaffolding. Then sometimes it takes years. Do you get? So most times I was telling you about boiled rice. When the person that was going to try boiled rice, trust me, he just said, "Can I pour water there?" He might even try with cold water first. Milestone in branding. This cold water is making it soft, small. Let me add fire to this water. This thing they white too. Oh, white rice. I don't feel it. I cannot be eating white rice alone. Let me look for raw pepper in the farm. This thing is too pepperish. Are you seeing it? Someone said when you keep pushing your idea, it keeps getting clearer. Are we good? Am I clear? Have I how does it convince you? Is that okay? Is that clear enough? Next slide. All right. Good. Great brands and systems sometimes are invisible. I think I was reading about Pastor Sam book, Pastor Sam Adeyemi, Ideas Rule the World. And I love that book a lot. I think I read that book 3 years ago. I was saying something about the person that has the idea of Coca-Cola. He said, it was not the owner of the idea that has the idea. I hope you know. It was a pharmacist, sorry, that has Coca-Cola initially. He just dropped it there. Like, no, it was someone that has the idea. He now dropped it in a pharmacy company. Do you get? He just says, like, it was just normal. It's a chemical. I'm not a chemistry student. I just dropped it there, and the pharmacy picked it up. He gave it more expression, and we have Coca-Cola today. Now, you don't know that chemical till now. They said that chemical is locked in a vault. Great brands are invisible. There's something I'll teach us today. It's called iceberg model when building your brand. How many of you have had iceberg model? Good. Now, most of the great brands you see, they do more of the they do more of the works that are not seen than the one you see. Do you get? Very good. Architecture is a very good example. Burj Arab. When we were doing study there, they said Burj Arab foundation is half of the height. The foundation of Burj Arab. Am I correct, sir? Is down to the ground. Oh, sorry, sir. All right. They said it's down to the ground. It's half of the height. Even normal building. Like if you want to go high, the foundation has to be deeper. But most times we don't even know we have not asked a lot of questions like the why, the how do we want to. So most times we just want to, boom, I have this idea. And yes, I believe that bamboo is beyond scaffolding. I convinced. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, these designs, these systems you see today, these clothes, there were a time we were walking naked. Fig tree, according to the book of Genesis. Abi, just leave. Someone thought about it that, can we improve this leaf? Is still that leaf, oh? Can we make it like, let's make it together instead of just leave? Do you get? Maybe if there was no clothes now, you just come to jury with just leave. Can I see your Do you get? So someone thought about it that can we have corporate shirts? Can we have trust me, it didn't just come like this. So we keep exploring. Okay, let's have something like this. But they have a simple goal. We want to cover mankind. Simple. Are you getting it? We want to cover mankind. Simple. So most times, when you are building your brand, most of these great brands and systems, you don't see them. You ask the why. You work on real-time data. You work on. I'm going to be giving you some examples of a brand, some brands I have worked on, or some brands I've seen work. Very good. Chowdeck. How many of us know Chowdeck? How many of us have read about it? Please, let's try to. If you are, especially for entrepreneurs, if you want to, maybe I'm excused because of a brand designer, you have to be reading about all this brand. How did they work and all this? But as an entrepreneur, as a founder, read about it. Trust me, it helps. Trust me, it helps. Now we have Nigerian brands now, and now unicorns. It's something to be proud about. Let's give Nigeria a round of applause. Nigerian brands are now unicorns. It's not easy to be a unicorn. It's not easy. We have Money Point, we have Chowdeck, we have. All right. They said my time is almost up. Cowrie-wise. Next slide. Let me be fast now. All right. Now let's study from the bamboo root system. Oh yeah, this is the foundation of the pavilion we're trying to make. So yes, strong brands aren't built overnight. Take note of this. Strong brands aren't built overnight. I was talking to someone about iceberg model just now. The deeper you go, the better your brand becomes. Do you get? How do I explain this? It takes bamboo sometimes 5 years to be under the ground, getting its roots. Then when it started coming up, you just be like, what kind of growth is this? But you don't know that bamboo is doing the work under the ground. Let me get it right from the ground first. Let me get it right from the ground first. Now, listen. You are trying to build a brand. Trust me. I was checking this guy. How many of you know Sam Altman? Sam Altman, yes, that's his name. How many of us know him? ChatGPT now. But you know ChatGPT? Yes. Sam Altman. When Sam Altman was going to create ChatGPT that we are using today, in the year when he was creating the product, I can't be so sure. 2021, 2020. One of his friends retweeted on his post. He said, Sam, you are a very great guy, but this is one of your worst idea. I'm paraphrasing now. That is not exactly how he said it. He said, this is one of your worst idea, the ChatGPT of today. He said, this is one of your worst idea, the ChatGPT we are using today. Think about that. Now, listen. It doesn't, that's why every entrepreneur, every business owner does not joke with this. I'm telling you now. Someone said, Apple has arrived. They cannot go down. I said, you will say this because maybe you don't have a business, or Coca-Cola, you will still see them spending millions of naira on adverts every day. And I was now reading about it. They said what they are trying to do is a small child that is being given birth knows that one black thing inside the red bottle is called Coke. Then I see a man that's a brand that is just doing something and said, are you kidding me? Millions of dollars they spend on market. They will not say that people drink Coke. Let's relax. They still go back. Why did they lock their chemical inside a vault? Because they are trying to build a sustainable brand. Trust me, the founders of Coke, they are dead. Like some of these great brands, I gave you a next to. I'm trying to remember his full name. These guys are dead long ago. Those were times of black and white. He has one mustache like this. The founder of Nestu. All these mustaches. And you see people that have those mustaches. You see textbook, you see them. So he's old. But his brand is still working. You still use Maggi. You still use, what's this brand? Milo. Systems working. Try to know that you have to invest in your culture, your values. Most times, African brands, you are trying to build sustainable brand. If I ask you, what is your culture? You don't have a culture as a company. And someone said, me that I don't even have a brand name yet. Now, that is the part of invisible. Some of you don't have a brand name yet. Try to start creating those systems like documentations, research. You know, Bishop Oyedepo, I love him a lot. You say, you don't study. You don't just study. There's something we call objective study. So when he was going to build Covenant University, he said he studied 10 different universities in the world. He said, simple, I want to build an African Harvard. Straight. African Harvard. Straight. Then he studied 10 best universities in the world. Is it 20? He said, not ordinary study, objective study. There's different kind of studies, hope we know. Case study, objective study. There's one kind of study too. Objective study, you are writing what you want from this study. You are trying to build a brand. How many, where is the AI guy? AI guy. Can you give me 10 of your competitors? ASAP. This is not what you are thinking about. All right. You don't need to tell me base. 10 of your competitors straight up. Sit down. All right, thank you. Give him a round of applause. I'm opening your head already. Are you getting it? But I tell you to list 10 of your competitors for me. This should come freely. Welcome, daddies. Professor Ajayi is here. Please give Professor Ajayi a round of applause. This is Mr. Welcome, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for coming around, sir. Thank you very much. Are you okay, sir? All right, I need to move fast now. All right, next slide. Now, let's learn from Bamboo on building sustainable brands. Let's learn from Bamboo. Next slide. All right. There is something I call the Bamboo model. The Bamboo model. Now, if you are here and you want to build a sustainable brand that lasts for 50 years, 100 years, even when you are not alive anymore, your brand is still working. Take note of this. The first thing is build your deep roots. Take note of it. You can pen it down. Build deep roots. Ask questions. Why? Who am I producing this for? In the next 50 years, will my brand still be working? What is my company culture? I'm going to give you a simple example. How many of you know smartwatch? Good. Do you know there is something called People? People was before smartwatch, but they failed. Now, the guy had a long write-up on Medium. He said something. He said, they kept asking us a simple question when we were building. They raised more than millions of dollars in People. Very good product. They were the one that started smartwatch. People, go and check about them. He said they kept asking me one simple question. What is our long-term vision? He said I could not answer. The founder himself was saying it. Now think, trust me. If they told me that there will be a time that you will be on phone and you'll be doing video call with someone in the US, maybe 15 years ago, I'll say it's a lie. Is it possible? Are you seeing it? Lives keep revolving. Build your deep root. That your idea. Take it through fire. Bring it out. Are you getting it? Next one, the adaptability. I said it earlier. How is your brand adaptable with change? I told you that to go. Why to go failed? Someone can bring up that to go now and just bring the best out of it. You'll be shocked. To go idea, let me tell you the to go idea. Should I tell you to go idea? To go idea is basically gamification. You know what's gamification? I'm waiting for my star to progress. So it's like competition. Gamification is competition. Do you get? Then, why did everybody now? People, bankers. Then, my uncle was a banker. Then he has to go and he's always like, my star has to increase. Then, so all of a sudden, it becomes childish. Are you seeing it? Start opening your head. You have to learn how to adapt to change in your brand. Next one, momentum. Now, slow start, rapid growth. Now, there is something about slow and steady when building brand. Do you get? You are building your brand, you don't, and the question is, I'm going to start, the question I started earlier is, when you check your why, it's very easy for your brand to keep going. Very simple in Globam Nigeria Limited. We want to build bamboo beyond scaffolding. See, the why is very simple. Okay, what can we do? Let's have an expo for students. Let's educate them. Do you get? What can we do again? What can we do again? Let's go for exhibition programs. Are you seeing it? Trust me, in our why, we are not going to be doing only one thing. Trust me. Trust me, we are building another product again under Global Bamboo Expo. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, what can we do again? Are you seeing it? This expo, it didn't go well. Oh, how can we make it work again next? That next year, let's infuse exhibition. 3.0, 5.0, 10.0, 15.0. Because there is always, that why is simple. Bamboo beyond scaffolding. And sometimes it takes years of building to convince someone that this your product works. Even though your product is good. Hope you know. Hope you know. If someone creates a new WhatsApp now, I will not go there. Even though it's better than the current WhatsApp. The person didn't name it WhatsApp or anything. Okay, very good. Telegram is a good example. How many of you are chatting properly on Telegram? Do we see it? Does it make Telegram bad? The only thing when Telegram know that they've competed with these guys, when they started this coin tap. Oh yeah, let's just use it to get our market. Because OPay, very good example. The fact that okay, let's just what can we do for these people? Let's make them open these accounts seamlessly, and let's make their experience easy. Just open your phone number with an account number. Simple. Are you seeing it? Trust me, it can get to a time and someone will say, everybody starts saying that which one will be someone, that means everybody has my account number. I don't want that kind of product again. The way humans when you are trying to create a brand, learn momentum, learn to be adaptable. Humans, about Sisi said something about humans. He said the constant thing about humans is change. Something you like today, you can say to tomorrow, I'm tired of it. Now the next one, the B, balance. Learn to balance between profit. Trust me, when you are building your brand, there's one thing I used to tell some persons, be clear. You that are trying to build a chin business, you're not trying to say, I want to build a chemistry that will work for my chin. Okay, tell me, this chin business I'm doing, I want to use it to send myself out of school. And my target audience is 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. 100 level, 200 level student Oh yeah, I will bring the chemistry out of the chin chin. We'll revolutionize the chin chin industry in Nigeria. Ha, be clear enough. Be clear. Chin chin, this chin chin is basic chin chin for 100 level student, 200 level architecture student that are in studio. All right, how many minutes more? 2 minutes. I'm out of time. 2 minutes. All right. All right. Then O is oneness. Now, I mean, this is look at bamboo. Bamboo always grow together. Most times when you are trying to bring an idea, try to have group of people you are working together. Someone was talking about I'm trying to remember. He was talking about how these big men, the whales, they call them big whales, how they come together to say, okay, we want to bring down this product. Or I was telling someone about marketing. They said, Apple and Samsung, they are fighting. I said, they're just playing your mind. Chivita and Coca-Cola. You say you don't like carbonated drink, you go and buy Chivita, the same company, don't town. Have you don't know? You don't know. You say, go and check the back of Chivita. So I don't want carbonated drink, what of sugar? Then you now switch. Oh yeah, Chivita. They are buying the same company. Abi, let's give you a very simple example. Itel, Techno, and Phoenix, the same company. And Itel, the company will now sit back. Let's reduce the quality of Itel. See, this Itel is bad. Let me go to Infinix. Yeah, that's what we want to achieve. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? So most times they might just be playing with your mind. Samsung and iPhone, okay, let's do like we are fighting outside. So they can say that I want Samsung, I want. Are we getting it? All right. The last one, originality. Be clear about your message. Most Nigerian brands, most African startups, even not only Nigerian brands, every brand, most times the mistake we make is we are not clear. Are we getting it? All right, I'll give us a typical example. I was working on a brand recently, last month. The brand said they want to work on a freelancing platform, connecting the freelancers to businesses. Abi? Abi? What are example of those kind of platform? Fiverr, Upwork. And I said, what's your name? They said, Codec. I said, your brand has failed already. I was just straight. I'm sorry. I said, why? He said, why? I said, the first thing I had is code, software development. He said, does it have a meaning? He said, yes. We code. He said, start bringing in deck. He said, your competitors are big competitors already. Now, lead me to my next slide. Next slide. The first mover and the first taker advantage. Now, listen. I think this is the second to the last slide, right? Now, the first mover advantage. If you are coming to a market where the market is saturated already, and you are trying to tell me, like I told you, if someone bring a product like WhatsApp, I might not buy it. Trust me. Do you get? Why? There is already something called WhatsApp. There are different chatting platforms already. Hope you know. Hope you know. Hope you know. So what do? I said codec. This brand name is not working again. Like when I hear it, I'm hearing code. So basically, I might not buy. Like, why do I even want to trust your platform when I cannot go to other platforms? Said we are going to connect the users to the buyer straightly with AI. I said, what of Contra? Contra has something called Indie AI, and trust me, I love to research. Basically, if I'm working on a product, I will read, and I said there's something called Indie AI. So how do you think you are better than Indie AI? That's what I said. We are using AI platform. I said they use AI platform too in Contra. So what do you want to do now? Are you seeing it? So I say that name has to name Nike was not gotten from. Was not the owner of Nike that got the name. Hope you know. It was just a man that slept. One of the founder of Nike that just said he slept and he saw a name Nike. The founder of Nike said he never liked the name. He said he just slept and he saw that name Nike. He never liked the name. He said now the name is now a global name. I think he was trying to balance in between a spirit being and I can't remember accurately. I mean that was what he was just trying to say that. You have to see something, the God factor. See, I will tell you all this postulation. Do like this, do like this. If God say nothing, they work. You know they work. Trust me. Do you get? I mean, there was an aircraft that was, and most great ideas are gotten from nature. Aeroplane from bird. Um, there was a train that is currently in China now. There's a train that's currently in China. Is it China? Yes. The train, when time is going under the sea, under the ground, it makes a loud noise. Then China saw an aeroplane. I think it was Pastor Poju that was talking about it. He said they saw a bird that when anytime the bird enters the water, it doesn't make noise. They said then okay, they just came together. Okay, let's make
session. All right, so right about now, I'm sure you're all learning something. So right about now, we're going to have one of our main speakers come up and address the theme of why we're actually here. Because we're looking at bamboo beyond scaffolding, and that in itself is a lot. Of course, later we're going to have a panel session where you're going to see some very experienced professionals give you some details about how we can implement bamboo beyond scaffolding. But to herald us into that session, we're going to have. Permit me to read his resume. He has a distinguished career spanning architecture, art, and advanced computational design. Um, he brings deep expertise in addressing complex design challenges through the use of algorithm-aided design and advanced 3D modeling. Now, as a consultant, he has worked with innovative teams across industries. I mean, you should be clapping at this. These are achievements of somebody great.
Of Lagos. I also have a master's in parametric design in architecture from Universitat Politècnica de Catalunya in Barcelona. This particular page, and I thought I could literally relate it with this. So he had this. I'm humble enough to know I am replaceable at work, but I'm confident enough to know that it will take 4 people to replace me. That's literally what a computational designer does. It's not bragging rights, but it's you can liken it to what a calculator is. Everybody in this classroom here can actually do math. 2 divided by 2, 1. When I give you figures like 50 million divided by 2.0 or something like that, or 3.26, I mean, it's something you can do, but it will take you a bit of time, right? Some people are okay. Okay. But yeah, I mean, a calculator can do it fast, and you'll be sure that it's going to give you the correct answer. So literally, that's what a computational designer is. If you are to liken it to the profession of architecture, we can do everything an architect can do, but just faster. So we simply just break down problems into logic and algorithms. It's sort of like coding in quotes. That's all. That's the simplest way I'll just define it. Next slide. Okay. So, but with that knowledge, we've been able to do different types of projects from ceiling installations. Next slide. To product design, light fittings. This was actually designed and made here in Nigeria. Next slide. This is the reception table at the National Theatre in Lagos. It was literally just revamped, so we were commissioned to do the reception table. Next slide. This is a facade for a building in Lagos, InterSwitch. Literally just the origami that you're being taught in school, but how do you actually assemble it? How do you fabricate and assemble it on site? Funny thing about this project was I did it. Oh, Harrison's not here. Okay, I did it with Harrison. We were commissioned. Maybe we were given the project in like 3 weeks, and we executed it in 1 week, right? It was done in 1 week because it was actually raining. If not, we would have actually shattered the time. The contractor actually gave us 2 months to be able to assemble and install, and we did it in 1 week. So imagine that kind of time frame. Next slide. Even a fence, simple steel rods, just simply arranged in an undulating manner. Next slide. Okay, but I'm not yet I just wanted to show you a brief background of the type of projects we've worked on, but I'm yet to talk about bamboo. And if you're like me, and if you're as curious as Kodri, you'd have seen certain projects, just like the person that said something about film trick. That's you, the one in red. Oh, it was you. Okay. You'd have seen certain projects like this particular building, this particular pavilion designed by SOP, SUP, yeah, Sop Italia. That looks like a spiral. This is actually made with bamboo. Next slide. Okay, so this picture is not quite big, but I hope you can see it. But this is an auditorium where the roof structure itself is just made with bamboo that is curved. And you'll be wondering, this is the bamboo that we don't normally see as scaffold. How come it's curving that way, or how come it's being used to create such complex forms? Next slide. So I'll just walk you through a particular project that we did in Dolphin. Estate in Lagos, 2022. So I was approached by a young man. He had this outdoor patio and he wanted to just have a pavilion. A pavilion is like a temporary structure, right? And he wanted it to have a sort of earthy type of vibe, like cultural. He didn't want something industrial. So we opted for bamboo because I'd seen on Instagram all those beautiful pictures and I thought, oh, okay, let's try it. Okay, and so we started. Next slide. So ideally, as a computational designer, you literally just go through, you break down a complex problem into steps. So this is what you call your pedagogy steps in quotes. So the layout, extrusion, raising up, just knowing the particular locations for which each anchor point of the structure would be at. And so we use Grasshopper. Anybody familiar with Grasshopper? Please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any expert user of Grasshopper? Okay, level, beginner, intermediate. So you just know about Grasshopper, you've never, interesting. Okay, so if there's something at least you should you should carry out, please try and learn Grasshopper. It makes life very easy. Okay, so we use Grasshopper. And for those that don't know, Grasshopper is actually a plugin for Rhinoceros, which is a CAD software. But it also gives you the advantage of, because we're architects, we're taught to be visual, right? And coding is actually abstract. So when you're writing like several lines of code and, at some point you don't even know if you missed a particular apostrophe or something like that, and then you press enter and you have to debug. It takes time. But Grasshopper is an easy way to transition into learning how to code. Eventually, you would still need to learn how to code, but it's a very easy way to transition into coding. And then you can, pivot into any other field that you want. So we use Grasshopper literally for the modeling. And so with that, we could extract data like positions, anchor points, even structural design. But next slide. And so something funny about bamboo is, yes, in as much as you draw it, it's always ideal to always make a physical model. Advisable to make a physical model, and which is why I believe even Ezekiel's team literally made this physical model of the pavilion that they're making. It allows you to be able to know how the material will behave. It's not one, things can get lost in 3D space in a computer. Trust me, I've done certain things. But yeah, so we did a model trying to understand how it's going to look physically. And then also in terms of the material, the weaving pattern, because the client was very specific. He wanted a Kagome weave. And so we had to learn how to do it. This weaving was done by interns in the office, literally. We didn't get any skilled artisan. So in architecture, you need to be very hands-on. You need to be very practical with materials. And so we did the detailing, which we found out that, okay, how do you connect bamboo together? It's a very funny and interesting material. It's not like steel pipes that come in a particular radius that you go to the market and say, oh, I want a 50 mm diameter steel pipe. Bamboo, you get it. Sometimes the diameter, it tapers towards the end, right? It's fat at the bottom and tapers towards the end. And then the nodes, they have different heights. So you would have to literally source and select it. So you don't just order. You need to go and check methods. But we went for using bolts and nuts with washers. But then, if you are doing that, then you need to find a way to be able to protect the bolts, nuts, and washers. So in terms of, because it's metal rusts, so you need to, sort of grease it or something. Next slide. Okay. So basically, what you're literally seeing is the details we did, and then the foundation, which was a concrete base with a steel plate, and then some metal rods attached to it. This is very important, and I'll explain later. Next slide. Okay, so literally just installation, and we didn't get any skilled artisan to come and do it. Like we did it ourselves. We didn't get any carpenter. So you know, if you want to be able to get certain things done, sometimes you need to try out yourself, and then you can teach others on how to do it. Next slide. Yeah. So and then this was us, the client. So eventually we wanted to like wrap it with a particular fabric, but because we the of that particular pattern, he wanted that kagome pattern. So always be very careful whenever you are presenting to your clients, because it's whatever you show him that he literally wants, and it was very difficult convincing him. So eventually, we now, after putting this fabric on it, we now had to weave it ourselves, right, and then applied it. Next slide. But yeah, okay. This, if you zoom in, the pattern is there, but anyways, that's beside the point. But yes, we had done the pavilion, which was quite interesting. 2022, 2022. Please mark that date. Next slide. Okay, so very unfortunately, I thought the screen would be bigger, but very quickly, I'll just talk about how to treat bamboo, which is key, which is very key to any bamboo project that you would ever do. But first of all, bamboo as a material, if you've heard of, if you're some people were called out, they said they want to be entrepreneurs or CEOs. As an entrepreneur, you should know that you can get funding through grants, right? And one of the best ways to get grants is through the United Nations. And then have you heard of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs? Oh, okay, interesting. You know they're about, I think, 17 or 18, 17, yeah? Bamboo happens to be a material that if you actually throw some, bamboo is literally like grass here, it grows like weed, which is good. But if you actually cultivate it yourself, you'll be able to use it the, you'll be able to get the maximum yield. Because, sorry, I've forgotten her name, but the presenter that had spoken earlier, Simi, when I came in here, she was talking about how she had heard about bamboo and had some spiritual properties that she got. What? Bamboo in a particular institution called Bamboo U. And I mean, where you hear things about, how you harvest bamboo or how it even grows. I mean, for the first, just like you rightly mentioned, for the first 5 years, you probably won't see anything. But then the sixth year, you see a very long pole. And then seventh year, depending on the species of the bamboo, if it's the ones that grow singly or the ones that grow in columns or so. But basically, what I wanted to say something. Yeah, some places they'll tell you you can't harvest bamboo during the day. That it's at night when the moon is high, depending. If you Google search, you'll find it. But then also, the best time to harvest bamboo is it's probably after raining season or during dry season. Reason being, bamboo literally sucks up water. So if you go and harvest it during the rainy season, lift up a tank filled with water, the weight is going to be very, very, very heavy. But the good thing about bamboo, like as a material in terms of steel, is its weight to strength ratio. It's lighter than steel, but it has very good tensile and compressive strength depending on how it's being used. But yes, next slide. Sorry, that was off the. So we have okay, so in this picture you're seeing about 7 different species of bamboo with different colors and all, but we have over 600 species of bamboo in the world. And so, if you look on the right, you would see the map of where bamboo is actually grown, and you see that Africa literally has, I think, probably the highest landmass of bamboo. Yet we don't really utilize it. Whereas in Europe, I think they import like over $1 billion worth of bamboo annually. So, as an entrepreneur, that's a business idea. I mean, you can get saying it's an SD, it's part of their sustainable development goals. They will give you money, you fund it. We have plenty land. We have rainy and dry season. We don't have snow disturbing us. As in, you have everything working out for. It's not just for construction. Even these boards that we import, I believe this is MDF. You can literally use bamboo to make boards, just like plywood. There are so many things. So you can do your research. It doesn't even have to just be construction, is what I'm saying. Next slide. Okay, so how do you treat bamboo? The first method is okay, how do you treat bamboo and why do you treat bamboo? The difference between bamboo and steel is yes, it has a high strength to weight ratio, but it's susceptible to being burnt, right? I mean, steel would melt at a very high temperature. Bamboo would literally just burn at a certain, once fire gets close to it. Two, it's a nice delicacy for some types of insects. You know, if it's not treated properly due to the starch content it has, there's something called a post beetle that will literally start eating it up from the inside. You won't even know until one day the whatever you use it or the structure literally collapses. And then water as well. Unlike steel. I mean, if you coat steel literally with a form of epoxy, you're preserving it. But bamboo, it will soak it up just like wood. I mean, it's not rocket science. If you put your table outside and the rain beats it, it will get damaged. That's it. So, one of the methods of treating bamboo is using the smoke method, where you literally it's very cheap, and but there's not research done on it. Why the smoke method is just used is because I mean the smoke literally just repels the insects. It's literally impregnates the vascular holes and then pushes out the starch. That's all. It's cheap. You just need a place that has air so that I mean the smoke doesn't choke whoever is using it. And then you can just use bamboo branches or bamboo itself as the wood or the fuel to burn, and create the smoke. Next slide. Then you can just use a naked torch, in quotes, where you just use fire and you try and demoisturize the bamboo content, the starch content. Sense that yes, it's cheap, but you can end up damaging the bamboo, and so the material properties that you are actually relying on might not work anymore. And then it also bends the bamboo. It's a way of bending bamboo, aside from another technique called the raw prop method, which I believe Ezekiel is using. Please, after this talk, it would be nice if you guys can go and check out that pavilion. There are quite some techniques that they are using that would be very beneficial to you. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have the water leaching method, where you use a large body of water, preferably if it's running, so that it's literally washing the starch away. If not, if it's not running water, if you put it in a container, you just need to be changing the water every day, right? It's just like you're soaking gari with sugar. If you pour more water, the sugar would dilute. That's the idea. But make sure you make sure it's running. If not, and then you take your time you don't overexpose it to the water as well because it will also damage the material. So I mean, those are the pros and cons. It's cheap, but you also need to be careful. That's all. Next slide. Okay, so one of the most efficient methods is called the VSD method, which VSD stands for vertical soak diffusion, where you're literally mixing borax and boric acid into a solution of water. There's a percentage. I won't go into the solution inside it, and you leave it for 2 weeks. Like during the 2 weeks, you'd need to be pouring the solution, like topping it up, because it will be decreasing from um, the pole. And so when you're doing that, the starch is being removed as well, and it's the starch that the post beetle wants to eat. So once you get rid of that, it won't be attractive to the beetle. It's almost like tasteless rice, no salt or anything. You get the gist. And so this VSD, where you literally just put the solution into a standing pole, it's good, it's effective, but I mean, that means you now need a large area of space to be able to talk in the crowd. You can't just raise your hand. Okay, you. Yeah, yeah. So what happened to it? Okay. Yeah, it didn't last. Obviously. I mean, it was an. I mean, thank God it was a pavilion. It was designed for as a temporary structure, and the owner knew that it wouldn't last more than a certain period of time. But I mean, while I was giving the presentation in March, That was when I met Ezekiel. I was like, oh, I'm not even sure if this thing is still, standing. The following day, the guy called me, this thing has, next slide, it got damaged. And if you see, it was literally from the top. The bottom is still okay, but from the top, unfortunately, this picture doesn't. Okay, I think if you can see this particular bamboo, it had soaked up water to a point. And then also, because it wasn't treated, we didn't have that particular knowledge of how to treat it. Yes, we sprayed it with insecticide, we fumigated it. The insects were killed, but you can't control the. It's just like when you spray a room with insecticide and then you open your window. I mean, the bugs will still come in now. That's what literally happened. And, you know. But it was a learning experience. But right now, if we were to design pavilions, it's standing, so water literally wouldn't soak, unlike how that particular roof was. Next slide. Yeah, even the entrance into Olumo, you'd see this particular design. There was no drawing done, just literally just data given to the artisans. Cut it at a certain length, put it at a certain client was happy. Next slide. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much. So I guess any question? Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for him. Our speaker has really done justice to the topic. If you have any, we are going to move to the question and answer session. If you have any questions for him, please raise your hand and we'll pass the mic to you. All right.
You can just put down your questions. We want to have a panel session now. Yes, so that just write down your questions. There's a session for that because the speaker needs to leave as soon as possible. He's going back to Lagos. Before we go into the panel session, I just want to recognize one of our daddies in our midst, the subdean, Dr. Samuel. Sir, you're welcome, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Um, he has really been supportive with getting this venue and also getting an approval for our where we used to build our pavilion. We are not done with the pavilion. I believe we should be done after the program, but please let's clap for it.
Panel session. We just have a few questions, regarding the theme of this event to quickly ask you and to get your opinion on certain things. So, if you don't mind my asking, I would like to start with you, sir, Dr. Adegun. I would like to ask a question as regards to, sir, bamboo is not a new material to us in the architecture department. It's one that we've been spoken to about, and here our minds have even been opened more to see the other uses of bamboo. So I would like to ask, sir, that in your professional opinion, what role do you think bamboo has in solving housing problems in our cities and villages?
Thank you, moderator. Let me start by acknowledging the my co-panelist, Actor Shonibara. You're welcome. Great things you're doing. And let me thank Daddy Ajay. I used the word daddy because he was 70 a few days ago. And he's officially retiring from the university, but I know we still have a lot to get knowledge. He's done a lot of work with legend that before he speaks. So back to the question you posed on the role of bamboo in housing. I think some of the challenges, the biggest challenges in housing sector is the issue of cost. And we talk about affordability. We have, in many cases, we have the houses, but the cost,
No, it's a lot more efficient than normal charcoal in terms of the soot. The smoke is not as toxic as the normal charcoal. That's one. It's also a regenerative plant in the sense that you cut it, when it starts growing, it takes about 5 years for the first shoot to come out, and then maybe 7 years for it to be fully matured for harvesting. But as you're cutting it each year, another shoot comes up, which is very the regenerative property of the bamboo itself. Unlike, when you cut down a big Iroko tree, it will take several years, for you to get it to maturity to be able to use it again. So in terms of material wise, because of its regenerative property, it's cheap, right? And so if people can now probably industrialize it, like I rightly mentioned, it can be used as a replacement for boards. In construction, we use boards a lot, especially when it comes to kitchen cabinets, or even formwork or even doors. It can replace wood if well industrialized. So it's definitely a market to be tapped. It just needs some, industrialization in it as well.
Thank you very much, sir. And before you drop the mic, one last question because I noticed that you mentioned bamboo cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, what other bamboo products do you think have the best future in Nigeria? Bamboo products or building methods using bamboo, in your own opinion, do you think have the best future in Nigeria?
Aside from, you can use it for, like I said cabinets, but even furniture in its rawest form, you could use it for roofing shingles. If you cut it and then you tie it, there's some in the Philippines they use it a lot, but it's just that it doesn't last, so you need to renew it. But it's a cheap alternative compared to aluminium, and then it can also drive trade in the sense that you're building up a new skill, a new set of artisans, because we don't have skilled artisans for that particular trade, so it will create employment as well. There are so many things, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Please, a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir, for that insight. All right, and now on to our daddy, Professor Ajayi, sir. Sir, you have worked a lot with you have experience in the field of bamboo because it's in your field, and my question now, because we've heard about the attributes of bamboo and its uses, but I wanted to know, sir, are there any government policies or any government support that we need to promote this acceptance of bamboo in the building industry?
Well, thank you very much. I think the first thing we need to understand is that is there a government? It is when you know there is a government that you can talk about policies. That's number one. Then the second thing is that when they give policies, it's a policy that centers on civil service rules. It's not always science-based, technological-based, or mathematics-based. Because if we don't make a policy on how to use bamboo, then the architecture needed to be member of such committee that will formulate policy. Forestry should be part of the people that will formulate that policy. Wood, people in wood, that's the major raw materials for any form of building. But they don't consider us in formulating a policy. So they will just bring in some permanent secretaries, some directors by name. But when you look at the structure of those people, they are all civil servants. They might not be scientists. Most of the DGs, check it out, they are not scientists. So how would they formulate a policy on a life science that you and me belongs to? That's one other problem that when you talk about government. But if government wants to make policy on the use of bamboo, it will be a policy of exportation of bamboo. It doesn't settle on how we can use bamboo to build core or low-cost housing in Nigeria. they will take the policies to center on the area of exporting the bamboo, and they will look at us here, maybe like what you have, a skeleton you have here, and they will say they need something like that. You also see those people, they have made relationship with outside, coming to us here, asking us about advice and us to build this structure. That's why I say there's little that we can gain from government. But we should also start to look inward. All of us, the architecture, the people in wood, the people in forestry, to have a policy. Look at what we saw here this morning. Let us have a policy. What can we do, all of us together? The architecture, the builders, the forestry, and all that. Let's have a policy that we can sell out to the people. People want good things, but they don't have the knowledge of how to get it. Let us cooperate together and go work beyond the policies of government. Let's have a skeleton like this, and we say, well, we can develop this, and we start doing it. People start seeing it. People will come to us, and they will look at our technology. They will buy. Even some of the government people will also come and they will buy. But for them to establish a policy that will make us to function as we should do as scientists to bring glory to our country, they don't do that kind of policy. But I want to stop by giving an example. The Raw Materials and Research and Development Council, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, they gave me an award. I don't like taking an award. That was the first time that I was coerced to take an award. If you send some people are expecting me in Abuja tomorrow. They said they want to give me an award. It's a big corporation. Then I asked a question for myself. What kind of award do you? They said award as the best researcher of the year in local content. That is, you see agricultural waste, wood waste, weed, and every other lignocellulose material to produce or to add value to it, in which case you architecture can use it at your building project. The builder can use such material as a building project, and so on and so forth. So I took the paper. That was what they gave to me, and a plaque. And I took. They now asked me, will I be available that they are bringing in Chinese into the country? In other words, to partner together on how to use rice husk. The one they call pagun rice. When you remove the husk, I said, no problem. I can work on that. I came to my department, brought out 4 students. You work on this. The use of rice husk, using pure water sachets as binder, use car battery case as binder, use plastic bottle water as binder, use cement as binder. And then we produce. I will show you some
benefits. But why exactly is bamboo better for the environment than the conventional wood or cement that we use every day, sir?
Okay, thank you. I think it's been said over and over today that bamboo is more environmentally friendly. It's regenerative. I think you got the explanation about being regenerative. So it's clearly a greener alternative for materials. In terms of carbon emissions, maybe I can just give you an example. To get steel useful in housing is something that comes from the sea. It doesn't involve any significant form of carbon emission. Maybe just what you need to cut it and move it to where it's going to be used, or what you need in the processing. And if you look at some of the presentation by Actor Shonibare, the cost of the processing also involves minor carbon emissions. So it has this advantage. But even if in future, because what would really help in bamboo gaining traction is how much you're able to process it to improve its durability, its water absorption, limits water absorption, improve its strength and other characteristics like that. Even with that, when some of this involves industrial processes, it still in many ways beats something like metal and other activities. It's better than timber. Its regenerative characteristics make it a lot better than timber, because we are currently having a timber crisis because we don't have good wood. If you've interacted with carpenters, I have a carpenter I work with. He keeps saying there's no good wood. There's no good wood. To get it's only remaining this side. I even challenged him. You've been a carpenter for over 30 years. How many trees have you planted compared with the number of trees you have used in your maybe 35-year?
So because of time, of course, I know our esteemed panelists, they have places to be. I would like to take one question each for our panelists. So if you have a question for our panelists, we'll just take one each for each panelist. So we have some questions. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, all right. So the first question here is, I think this one is addressed for architect Abiodun. Is computational design only meant for complex designs? And are there any examples of non-complex designs that we use computational design for?
No, it's not only for. I mean, I'm guessing the person that asked, when you say complex, you're talking about geometry. No, it's not only meant for geometry. You can use it for analysis. Computational design is a very large umbrella for a huge number of things, you know. I just specialize in the geometry aspect of it, but there's also digital fabrication, there's also analysis, you know, where you're doing both energy analysis and consumption, or if you want to rationalize different things, optimize, you know, your space layout. It has many facets to it, so it's not just for complex forms or anything. Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. So the next question is for Professor Ajayi. Do we have a proper system in Nigeria for growing and selling bamboo, or is it still unorganized?
Very, very much unorganized. Very, very much. You can see the effect of an organized situation in our universities. If the universities, the government is well organized, then you will see most of the products of your research here will be outside the community, all over the place. But because those things are not organized, that's why we are where we are. But for the growing of bamboo, I think it's better than investing in the growing of wood, because bamboo, I remember when we were growing up, my father was tapping palm wine from a palm tree. We use bamboo as a ladder attached to the stem up to take our palm wine, and then by the time over the years, that bamboo that we did not plant but for the purpose of tapping wine has covered wide range of land. So you don't need to do some thinning or some kind of weeding if you have the establishment of bamboo. Like he mentioned the other time, it's in a grass family. And you see, when you go to the field, you cut down grass. You don't cut down any other thing but the grass. So bamboo is very easy to establish in the plantation. Just the stem will grow uh, very well. But again, um, whether you want to establish or you want to sell, anything that does not affect the people in government positively, they will not do it. For example, if they say there is a policy in the harvest of bamboo, the bamboo they want to harvest is not for you people that are designing, that they want to meet the needs of your design. No, everything will be towards taking them to abroad for use over there. That's why when they go there, they say they are looking for investor. To invest on what? And now a British man doesn't know bamboo, talk less of having the knowledge of establishing a bamboo. They don't have knowledge of Iroko, talk less of establishing a plantation of Iroko. Their weather is not suitable for growing all those vegetation that or trees we have here. Again, it is also left to us. How do we come together? The forestry people, they have the knowledge of establishing plantation of assorted wood species. And so also the bamboo, easy to establish. You cut the stem, dip it in a water environment. You don't need to water. It will start just growing up. Then I want to tell us one thing that I witnessed. Why did we not have wood, as my brother said? He said maybe it's the fault of our forefather. True, it was because of them. I was a participant in the total destruction of the forest in Nigeria. Not that I was not the one that formulated the policy, but I was one of those that implemented the policy. That was why I have the knowledge. The European and World Bank, they came with the idea. They want us to plant wood for pulp and paper. We were cutting down trees or forests of 560 species to plant one species, which is Melana. And Melana is not a resident of this country. The same thing we did for teak. At that time, I was a small boy in forestry. Because I stayed in forest, I was born there, I went to primary school there, I was in the secondary school there, I went to the university to study forestry. That brought me back to the forest. You will be in the forest in those days. When there is heavy rainfall, you will just be walking in the forest. No water will just fall on you because the canopy is very close. They now said Nigeria will be exporting paper. We now destroy all those forests to plant melina. And up to today, the working paper they were talking about at that time did not work. They came with another policy. They call it Tonja farming. They want farmer and the forest people to cooperate together. They will give the farmers portion of the forest reserve to plant yam, cassava, plantain and the rest. We in forestry will now go there to plant trees. It looks beautiful, but it was a poison. Why did it become a poison? If you plant yam, that's their first crop. Now you want a stake, a tree or a stake or whatever, a stake to, put the yam up. You allow it to wander around the stem and all that. Do you know what happened? All the young ones of Iroko, Obeshe, Afara, Terminalia, that was what the farmer would go deep into the forest to cut. So they were destroying the children of all those big trees. So immediately we finished the big old tree, there was no children to take over. At a point in time, the Akintola now take over the whole forest. I saw them like this. It was that policy, those two policies, that destroy our forests. Who are those people that made the policy? It was this same government we are talking about. It is high time we professionals should start talking together. Now we are now establishing some plantation, but it was becoming too late using the indigenous species. But we have in our plantation before teak and melana. You know, teak is the most dangerous wood on earth, not compatible with us. So as a roofing scaffolding, no. Why? Because at every juncture you will see the stem having knots. What makes the knot is the branches. When you cut down the tree and then you use it, you saw it as part of the binding component. It is at that point of the knot that the structure will collapse. The same thing, that teak, if you look at teak, it doesn't allow its own children to grow under it. It has a way of allopathing the seeds not to grow. Even the seed of other plants can't grow under teak. And if you see our government, they spend millions of naira from the World Bank to destroy our forests and plant teak. The teak now destroy our indigenous species, and then they destroy the fauna and fauna of the land. These are the problems that we have seen over the time. Let us professionals come together and see what we can do about it. And let us also do this, because if we say we should start to pray for our government to change, it will never happen. No. What we need is action to restore our forests, either by planting or by enrichment. That we can do. That's just my.
Wow. Very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I have actually I've learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot. All right. So my next question goes to Dr. Adegun, sir. Someone wants to know, how durable can a bamboo building be? How in terms of how long it lasts, how durable can we say a bamboo building or structure can be?
Well, there is no one way answer to that question, because when you're talking of durability, architect Shenibari has given us an example of what he did, which was more like a trial and error. So because these materials have not been fine-tuned in terms of their strength, there is limit to the kind of components we can use them for in the building, because we're not yet sure of their durability based on the properties or some of the processes it has gone through. So yes, it can last. It depends on the component is used. If you use it as let's say cladding, yeah, maybe it could last more, and you are more sure of durability compared to where you want to use it as your maybe columns or load-bearing materials. Not processed, not laminated, you can't even be sure of the strength. Of course, that will not even be structurally stable. So I think I would say there's a challenge for us to optimize the value in bamboo for various applications as building components, as walls, as windows, as boards, all sort of materials. We need to optimize the potentials of bamboo in various ways. So that's just what I would.
All right, sir. The person would also like to know how we can, how they can construct the foundation of a bamboo building.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure where exactly the kind of bamboo building you want to construct.
For example, it may not be advisable to use, for now, bamboo as the entire element for the substructure. You may still have to rely on the conventional material for substructure. Well, if you want to, for example, harness the tensile strength for maybe your oversight concrete, maybe that may be an option, but you also understand the fact that we have building codes and regulations, and for now I don't think bamboo is adequately captured in our building regulations. So that's why in some countries you may not use it for certain components, where because it's not been regulated. Here we have SON, our building code is not active, but it has not captured some of these things. So you also don't want to, for example, if it's a public building where, let's say, school where children would come, you don't want to use a material that nobody will approve you to use a material that they are not sure of. If it's your own house, maybe you can be left to do that. But the society also cares, because maybe you have your wife, your children in those spaces. So we still have limits to some of these assurances about potentials of bamboo. That's why we need to keep experimenting. We need to keep working in order to get the best ways to use it in various materials. Maybe before I close, let me give an example of Kunle Adeyemi's Makoko floating school. You know, it also collapsed. But that was a learning curve for him to what he did in Venice and some other floating facilities coming up in Amsterdam and some in the Netherlands, which has a lot of waterfront settings. So we need more of bamboo experimentation in order to learn and improve, and then, like I've said, I've used the word a number of times, gain traction, so that it's something everybody now uses because we have that assurance.
All right, thank you so much, sir. The next question is for Daddy, sir, Professor Ajay. Someone wants to know, sir, in hot regions like the northern areas, can we still use bamboo, and how so?
Yes, there's nowhere you cannot use bamboo, even in the marine environment or as a component of ship building of ships and boats. You can use bamboo. But there's one important thing that you have to understand. The water in the bamboo matters a lot. If you use fresh, for example, you put fresh specimen of bamboo and then the dried one into termitarium, they will eat the fresh one. The dry one they will not eat. Why? Because of the water. That's why they will eat it. So if you want to build anything whatsoever, you have to first of all remove the moisture in the bamboo. Once you remove the moisture, then you can then use such bamboo material for construction purposes, in the sense that in service it shrinks, also expand by the effect of radiation from the sun. And when you use it green, that's wet, and you nail it, the first thing that will happen is to corrode the nail. And the next thing is that there's no grip. So when there is a wind, a small wind, it will blow it up. And then people will say it's the witchcraft. It's not witchcraft. The simple science, you did not allow the water that corroded the iron, which is the nail, to dry. Then when you allow it also to dry, and you also use it in a construction, there is nothing the sun can, no water that it will remove. So when you dry it to the moisture content like 5%, and then you nail it, the nail and the bamboo compatible. No water. The water is the enemy. Once you remove the water, then the structure will stand. then the material will not shrink, it will not collapse, it will not form a cup, it will not split, it will not bend, it will not cup, it will just remain like that. That building can stand a test of time. So there's nowhere where you cannot use bamboo for various construction. Yeah.
Electricity, and if it has a future in if it has a future in electricity.
No, wood to conduct electricity, it can only transfer current. That is, if it's wet and then you are using it as a construction material and has a contact with electricity, there's a tendency for it to shock. Even the dry one, if it's not properly dried, it can also shock. But for you to use it as a transmitting, no. Because of the nature, in its own nature, it has three major cells: the fiber, the cellulose, the lignin. All right, and they work hand in hand to build that mega structure that you see as bamboo. So, but in a dry condition, it can may not cause serious shock, but if it is wet, it will cause serious shock. Look at the example. If you want to plug something in your house, you don't go out to look for wet stick or broom. You go out to look for dry broom. But when you use the wet stick, before you plug that in, to first of all shock you. But if you use the dry one where there is no moisture, it will stand. Yeah, that's the moisture is the enemy. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, a round of applause. So our last set of questions will be for architect Abiodun, sir. So someone wants to know, how are curved shapes achieved with bamboo? Is it that flexible?
Okay, so one, like I said, like I earlier said, there are over 1,600 species. So there are some that are actually flexible on their own, but some very big ones which can be used as structural elements, and you can do your research. If you check for Ibuku, they're a design firm in the Philippines. I think they are also the ones that actually designed those buildings that you're looking at, as Hardy something, Tom Hardy and his wife also. Okay, but how do you bend bamboo? You can use the heat method, which I had explained earlier, where you simply just use heat. Most times, you can actually just dampen the wood a bit so that it gives a bit of flexibility, and then you use heat and then it bends. Or you can use something called the rop method, where you literally, and that's the technique Ezekiel and the team are using for this particular pavilion that they're building outside, where you are literally slashing the bamboo poles in a triangular slit. And so depending on the size of the triangle, you're just making sure you're not cutting the entire pole, just a part of it, and then you're bending it to the curvature that you want. So if you want an exact curvature, you would have done your templates on probably the floor. And so you start slicing it and start bending it. So if it doesn't bend the way you want it to bend, you make it either bigger, or if it's bending too much, then you make sure your cuts are smaller. It's called the rop technique, RUP, or slashing technique. Yeah. And it's less destructive than the heat method, because the heat method would discolor your bamboo, depending on the type of finish that you want to achieve as well. So,
all right, yeah. Thank you, sir. Sorry, there are so many questions here. There are so many, but I know for the sake of time, okay, I will just ask one more for each of you, just one more, okay, and then we'll call it over. So, over to you, sir. Someone asked, bamboo is a material that comes as a blessing to the world in terms of sustainability, but when considering the chemicals used in processing and preserving, it might not be environmentally friendly. So the person wants to know how the industry will control and prevent this issue to prevent bamboo from becoming like what we have with concrete, because once it becomes more acceptable, there will be high demand and therefore they need to increase production.
Okay, so the only, I think maybe I removed it. I'm not sure because I don't think I saw fumigation method when I was presenting the treatment methods. Sorry, that's the only one that I know that is quite toxic. Anyways, I mean, it's very irritating to the. I mean, you have to be very careful when you are fumigating. You know, but aside from that, the boric acid, the borax solution, that's boric acid and borax, is actually non-toxic. If you want to, after using it to treat the bamboo, you can just simply dilute it with plenty of water and pour it in the river, and it doesn't do anything. So it's actually not dangerous to the environment. I think that answers your question.
All right, thank you, sir. The next question is for Professor Sir. So someone said we are focused on the advantages of bamboo, but they want to know what are the disadvantages of using bamboo, and if there are, how can we overcome them as well?
The disadvantage can only come if you are using it in a wrong way. It becomes a disadvantage. For whatever you want to use bamboo for, the first thing you must do is to, what is the level of water inside that bamboo in relation to where you want to use it. For example, like my brother said, to bend bamboo. You can't bend bamboo when it is dry. It will break. But you must make sure that it is wet so as to be able to stretch the fiber that is inside of it. Once there is water, sufficient fiber, water, then you can bend it to whatever structure you want it to look like. If you want to use this as a rooftop, in those days in the village we use bamboo as a rooftop. You know, when you slash it into two, then you bend it together. You sleep under it, you just sleep off cooler. Even if the rain is so heavy, it will not touch you. So where you want to use it matters. The condition of the material also matters a lot. For example, if you want to use it for production of panel products, like you want to use it to produce particle board, in other words, you will turn it to particles. If you use it directly without giving a treatment to it, and you are using cement as binder, the extractive in it will poison the cement. But if you boil the bamboo and you drink the water from it, it energizes you and cures your malaria. You may not know what this we know when we were growing up as children. We don't take Panadol, we take extract from various kind of wood. So you need to remove the extractive in it. Bamboo, the structure, the arrangement of the fiber in differs from that of wood. And that's why it can stand the test of time than the wood. You see, the arrangement of wood is also longitudinal. For that bamboo is also longitudinal. But the fiber...
Yeah, I guess Ezekiel would be able to.
All right, so that will be communicated to you. Please, a round of applause for our wonderful panelists. Thank you so much, sirs, for taking out the time to, to interact with us and to pass on this knowledge and this wisdom. And we look forward to taking what you've passed on to us and moving forward with it. Thank you so much. Please, Eva.
Sorry, I thought the third question. That's you didn't ask about that. What other alternatives that you can use bamboo for, apart from what the architect, designed it to be? And what you can use the bamboo for is the focus of my research work over these years. that is the use of waste. When you construct your building or your structure, every waste that you generate, I will use them, add value to it by converting it to panel products that you, the architect, can also say you want to use. Even the one that you use, maybe after some time the thing get degraded. Instead of you to take it to these people selling food for them to burn it off, no, I will take it from you and I will add value to it to produce particle board. That has been my research focus. Bamboo can be used to produce particle board if you add three important binders. One is the cement. If you mix the particles from cement, from bamboo to you produce panel product, even as far as to the size of a door. Secondly, the pure water sachet, the one you buy, 5 naira sachet, I can shred it and also mix it with particles from bamboo and also produce plastic bonded board. I can also convert your waste after using whatever you want to use and use car battery case. We all have know about car battery case. I will shred the car battery case into powder and then I will mix the waste, the particles from bamboo, to produce panel product that you can also use as a raw material. You, the architect, and virgin plastic. Before you convert your plastic to plastic bag, at that stage we can use that virgin plastic mixed with the particles from bamboo to also produce particle board. They call that one high density binder or low density binder, and so on and so forth. But there is always with the cement, as I told you, the extractive in every lignocellulosic materials is enemy to the possibility of binding cement with all this lignocellulosic material because of the extractive in it. And I also want to maybe shock us, if it will shock you, that you architect, you will design beautiful thing and then the builder will now make a structure, maybe like to form a decking, and at the end of it you make the first floor, second floor, third floor. Before you get to the other one, the thing will just drop, but you don't know the secret. The secret is in the extractive, because when you use it to form the mold, you don't consider what comes out of the wood, which is the enmity to cement, which is the major raw material that you use as binder. We have found solution to it, just like my brother was saying the other time. All these SOS, Standard Organization of Nigeria, and your building, your this, your that, I've made presentation in writing to them that I want to give us the solution to why is building collapsing. But none of them. That's why I said if you depend on government, you will fail. I want to give them free so that our people will be saved. But unfortunately, they will never respond. That's why we must come together. If you want to build something, you want to use particle board. then I will make a particle board that will not collapse. If you see at this table, what they use there is fiber of wood. And what do they use to bind the fiber together? It is the inherent chemical, which is lignin, in that wood that they use. They might not use any chemical or whatever. But if you want to produce, you want to make this thing to be stronger, it's collapsing, then there's a need for us to add some other materials into it, depending on where you want to use it. If it is in a marine environment, then you can add something like phenol formaldehyde. That one doesn't degrade when it comes to water. Let me just give us, why do we need to use waste? I will stop there. I said I brought some materials that you have to look at. Now, let's see if we do this thing properly. For example, let's take bamboo as an example. We want to make bamboo for structural materials, or to produce panel products that can be used as ceiling, or to produce floor tiles, or to produce partitioning. Then see the advantage. Let's pick bamboo as one. Now, we now give money to the farmers. Go and plant bamboo in your water area, because they stay better, and then there's no where you will not get a stream. When you plant a bamboo by the stream side, you are securing the life of that bamboo. The water, that stream. That's what you are doing. And when you secure the stream, then you have more fresh water to play around with. And then when you now ask farmer to start bringing the raw material, the bamboo they are planted, what are you doing? You are increasing farmers' income and also alleviating poverty. So when they talk, the United Nations, they talk about poverty alleviation. It's not in their office there. Some years back, 2017, they called me. They said I should come and talk to them about how to solve the problem of SDG. What I did can provide solution to 8 of the SDG. But, their own way. They just ask you, bring this thing. Now, it will increase farmers' income, and then it will also increase the raw materials, so that you architect can work with so many materials. When you ask the farmer to start bringing in the thing that they have established, then it will create job. That driver that use healers that collect bamboo from the farm will get money. Where will that poverty come from? That will be reduced. And it is great job for low income and high income people. Then another thing that will happen, there will be increase in food production if you go ahead to produce. A farmer produces large quantity of bamboo, and he used to plant 1 acre of maize. He has much more money. He can go into producing 2, 3. And then you can go there to buy maize. Everybody will go there to buy maize. You can also reduce pressure on the forest resources biodiversity. I pity the world. When we talk about biodiversity, people are not talking about the animals in the forest. See fire burning. They talk only about the forest. What about the animals, the insect, all these things? We are together in this world. God made us together. And once you destroy all the animals, then that's what we are saying now. We are lucky we have not been seeing flood in Nigeria. We will soon start getting it. Whether we pray or we don't pray, that prayer cannot be answered. And then develop innovation, science, and technology, like what you do here. You can develop more innovation. I was looking at you call it 3D or something. I was amazed. If you don't see bamboo, can you do that? But if you get more bamboo of various species, then you can develop more. And people will now buy that idea of um, of your new innovation. Innovation in technology, innovation in engineering, innovation in architectural design, and all innovation in building. All this will come up if we invest in bamboo. Then we'll produce innovation in product manufacturing. That's very, very important. It's because there is waste. That's why I go into using waste to develop panel product. But if there is no waste, and finally, I know many of us will say we are Christian, but we are not following God's way of doing things. God added value to waste to make this the dying world. And that's why I key into his principle. He is a God of waste and Babatunde of waste. I add value to waste to bring out good material. Thank you very much.
That was very wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. That has been very insightful. Please, another round of applause for our panelists.
All the things I've labored for over the years, they are just raw materials for the architect. So the architect should pay me for doing this. Now, if you look at this one, this is granite shell. If you mix granite shell with pure water sachet that you throw off, it will bring a board like this. Unfortunately, I didn't bring them. If you want to make ceiling board, why do you need to bring in asbestos when you can use granite shell to develop products? Now, if you look at this cement paper board, you throw paper, they burn it and all that. I will go there to collect that waste paper, and then I will dip it in water. The essence of doing that is to separate the fiber. And then when you mix cement, which is very common to it, and then it becomes a board material. If you mix car battery case, this is the car case, shred it into particles, and you mix with granite, you can also get something. This is virgin plastic, depending on what you are bringing into the something. Now this one is the bamboo we are talking about. That's a product from bamboo. When you ship it into sawdust, and then you mix cement with it, it will bring you a panel product, either for ceiling, for board, and so on. You have sawdust with cement. Now you have the maize cob. We are in the season of maize now. When you eat your maize and you throw the cobs out, I will go there to pick, and then I will shred it, and then I will produce a board from it that can stand as a ceiling board. And that's the one you are looking at here. There's another one from banana stem. When you shred the banana stem, you can mix cement with it, and it brings out a board that you can use as ceiling. And then this is cotton stem. Cotton stem. When they harvest the cotton, I go there, I collect the stem. Even some India hemp stem can be used to make board. And then the sugar cane, which is bagasse. When you chew your sugar cane, you throw out, I will pick it, and I will add value to it to make board for you. Then the pseudo stem. We are talking about paper in Nigeria. They established, the first time I will hear about billion, many years ago, 5 billion. They said they want to establish a European paper industry to produce paper. They now bring mandana from maybe India and all that. Why do you need to bring mandana? Where you can use this banana some material stem or or get the kuro lara igi, I can turn it to paper. and ditto the plastic. Then you will get something better. And so on, and the rest of it. The rice course I mentioned it the other time. Um, the cotton fiber, coconut fiber. About to get that you process it to fiber, mix cement with it or any other thing, and then it becomes a product. But finally, there is the okay. Let me show you this. This is from it's your enemy. I will introduce this thing to you today. But you people will design and then you form all these things to put your concrete or to form a decking. Sometimes the wood you use, you don't take cognizance of it. This one, they call it, what's the name now? Ceiba petandra. The Ceiba petandra wood, few years back, they used it a lot in forming a decking. The danger in it is if you form the deck, the what do you call it? The slab or the mold or whatever, and you pour the concrete. What usually happens is that the extractive from Ceiba petandra will come alive, and it will go through between your iron, the rod, and also the formation you made. And what this thing will do to create a gap between the iron and your concrete. And then you now see a very beautiful concrete laid. But don't forget that the extractive in this way has separated them. They're supposed to form a body, a strong body that nobody can break. But this extractive has separated them. After a few or 1 month or 2 or 3, and then you see your building collapsing, and then you'll be wondering what is responsible. And that's why I say you don't take cognizance of wood when you are talking about designing your structure for whatever you want to be. The extractive will poison that cement and create enmity between what you have formed and the iron. The iron rod is not supposed to carry load, but supposed to be part of the formation that we call it concrete. But it's no more a concrete, but it has formed a separation. And then whatever you pour, cement, sand, and everything, will now become a load on that tiny or very fairly thin iron. And once the iron cannot carry it again, what will happen? The the building will just come down like that. And then you people will be doing research. What is responsible? What is responsible is the extractive in that wood that you use. And that's why I wrote to Standard Organization of Nigeria. Let's partner together. There's always a solution to a problem. We have a solution to give you. Up till now, nobody has ever talked. Me and you, we can talk together. All of us here, we are scientists. We can talk together. That woman there in the SOS, or the man, maybe he did religious studies in the university. I'm not talking a particular person. What do you want him to know about the but our civil service thing? Let us work together. Architect, forester, wood specialist. Let's save our country. There's no more wood. I must confess to you. The biggest obeshe you can see in Ondo State today is the one in front of the postgraduate school. If you go through it, just look at that tree. It's obeshe. That's what they use in making decking in those days. It doesn't have its own extractive is not poisonous. But now there's no more. That's why they go into the use of Ceba petandra. It's good for nothing. And even if you use it for a decking the first time, you can't use the second time. But if it's Obeche, you can use it 5 times. So let us work together, save our country. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. A round of applause for our panelists. Thank you. Please, sir, can the panelists can they go downstairs for pictures while the rest of us are still here? Okay. Sorry. Yes. Clap for yourself, everyone. Thank you. Because when we started, I said I had the expectation. I wanted you to learn, and you people asked a lot of questions, a whole lot, and that's a form of learning. I really appreciate you guys. Clap for yourself once again. So, if you have any other questions, maybe your question was not answered, you can reach out to any of our speakers on LinkedIn. How many of us are on LinkedIn? Yeah. If you're on LinkedIn, yes. If you're not on LinkedIn, go and open an account. Send a message to them. If you're not able to meet them physically, send a message to them on LinkedIn. So, we are moving on soon. We are supposed to have a presentation now. I don't know if Abib is in the room. Abib Ola, is he in the room? Please, if he's in the room, you can step forward, please. Is he here? I am not sure. Okay. Okay, he's here. Thank you very much. Please, let's give him a round of applause as he comes up for his presentation. Please keep clapping. It's not easy to stand there. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Um, First, I would like to apologize in advance because of my dressing. Because I won't say it's really appropriate, but we all know final year brethren and everything, so we just have to, join the trend. Yeah, thank you very much for having me, everyone. My name remains Idowabi Bolamilekon, one of your own, a 500 level student from this prestigious department. And then I would like to talk about SIF. Everybody knows me as SIF. But then I would like to commend the organizers of this event and everyone that has been working in the background to ensure that our prototype is set. Myself, I've been a part of it, and some other people. I would not like to mention names so that other people will not feel dejected. But then I would like to say thank you very much to every one of you. And then we are not done because that state it is not what we want to leave it at. We still want to continue. So back to my main point of being here. All right, someone is telling me to use the podium. Okay, so back to my main point of being here. I would like to talk to you guys again about SIF. And what is SIF? You all know what SIF is. SIF is Student Industry Integration Foundation. And we are committed to ensuring to be the gap, to be the bridge that covers up the gap between students in construction related field like ourselves in architecture here and other departments and the construction field itself, because there is a very big divide between what we are doing in school and what is going on in the real construction world out there. And for some of us that have been a part of our programs, we can tell how insightful these programs are. They are high opening and they are very information packed. So please, I will say it again, the registration for SIF is completely free. Meet me or you meet Favor. You all know Favor, she was our ASA vice president. Please, this is a one-time opportunity, and while I will still be a student here, it will still completely be free for every one of us. And I would like to take charge of this opportunity and be a part of SIF today, so that you can also benefit from a lot of other activities we have been planning. I would not like to share them with you, but trust me, we have a lot of goodies on the way, and we are going to deliver every one of them. Every one of them, we are going to deliver them. So today, please, I would like to charge you guys again. Be a member of SIF, join SIF, and don't be left behind. Thank you very much. All right, please, questions. All right, SIF, we have been able to do quite a number of things. Yes, earlier this year in February, we had a webinar that was titled Bridging the Gap. That was like building the skill sets that is necessary to transition into the construction industry. And also, we had some trainings, CAD trainings. We did AutoCAD. We introduced Revit and also Proctar structure. How many of us know Proctar structure here? Okay, a very number of us won't know it because it is not for us in architecture, it is for civil engineers. But then, knowledge is infinite. Anybody can learn anything if you really want to learn it. And we are giving that platform for you to come and learn it. We are not charging for it. It's just for you to be a member and then you can enjoy these benefits. Also, we did a site visit at Ojija Park. Although that day we actually visited two sites, one at Ojija Park and the other one at the Judiciary Village around High Court area. And trust me, the people that were in attendance, there were a lot of positive reviews, and we will continue working to ensure that we actualize our dream of being the bridge between students in construction related field and the construction industry. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ola. Yes, speaking on SIF, I attended one of the seminars they had beginning of this year, and I really recommend. I believe strongly that in anything you do, community is important. So, architecture, whatever department you are in, and whatever field that you are in, you should try and join a community. So, if you are trying to, he asked us to join SIF. Now, if you are trying to join SIF, how will I join? Am I going to fill a form and whatnot? You can speak with him after the event. He's going to give you the link to join the group. Thank you very much. So we are supposed to move to the vote of thanks now, but I'm not sure Toby is in the room, so I'll just do that on behalf of everyone here. So on behalf of the founders, the founder, the co-founder, the speakers, I thank you all for staying till this point. Yes, for staying to this point, for asking questions, for learning, for your patience. We started quite late because of some issues. Well, thank you all for staying till now. Give yourself a round of applause once again. Celebrate yourself for staying to the end. So now the point that we're in is the networking session. If there's anybody that you want to meet, I heard that the speakers will soon be leaving. So if you want to quickly catch up with the speaker, you want to see them, you want to see anybody, now is the time to do that. So you can leave your seats, speak to the person next to you, go downstairs and take pictures and talk about this event. I wish you a very lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your day.